Hi, I'm Gloria Strode and welcome to Straightforward. Today we have a very special treat for you. The nationally known attorney, a pit bull in a skirt, and the gold digger killer.
Yes, ma'am.
The one and only attorney, Tanya Mitchell Graham. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are well known, well respected, but your reputation precedes you everywhere. And someone said to me, if you want an attorney that's going to fight to the finish for you, then Attorney Graham is the person for the job.
Well, this is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Right.
Thank you.
And so you've blazed many trails. And when I was doing my research about you, I saw that those labels, you own those.
Yes, my trademarks. I have two.
Pitbull in a Skirt.
Yes.
And the Gold Digger Killer.
Yes.
So how did we go from, because you're originally from Boston.
Yes, ma'am.
How did we go from Boston to Atlanta to this wonderful, successful law firm?
Well, my mother is originally from Georgia.
Okay.
And so...
She's a peach. A Georgia peach.
She actually is, but she has a Boston accent. So
okay.
She finished high school at Washington High School.
Oh, wow.
In Atlanta.
Yes.
And immediately after that, she moved to Boston.
Okay.
And so she stayed there. And actually, my grandmother raised me. And when it was time for me to basically go to high school, she moved back to Georgia and brought me too.
Okay.
So I've been here a very long time. I graduated from Avondale High School in Metro Atlanta. And I am trying to be a Georgia peach. I've been trying for years, but no one will let me because I'm not a Grady baby.
Right, you got to be a Grady baby. Yes, exactly. And then you left Atlanta, and where did you get your undergrad?
I went to Vanderbilt University in Nashville.
Okay.
And they heavily recruited me. They had a recruiter by the name of Peter Pratt, who was amazing. And he actually called my high school and would call me on the phone from class and say, hey, have you turned in this? They really
courted you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I basically narrowed my search down to Vanderbilt, Penn State, and MIT. And originally I wanted to go back to Massachusetts, but the difference was Peter Pratt. Now he's passed on, but he was a great recruiter for Vanderbilt University.
And a mentor, because when you speak of him, I can see the admiration in your eyes.
Yes, he was wonderful. And in fact, because I went to Vanderbilt University, that's why I became an attorney. Okay. I originally planned on going to business school to get my MBA after Vanderbilt, but based upon some of the, I would say, activities that we had at Vanderbilt and us trying to eradicate some of the injustices for African American students at Vanderbilt University, I ended up leading a national protest during my senior year.
Oh no!
Not good for your job search.
I know, but yeah, but it helped you on the path, the journey you were on.
Absolutely. Maybe it was God's plan. I decided 1 week before I graduated from Vanderbilt that I wanted to go to law school.
Really?
Yes.
Isn't that something? And so you helped to found an organization for African American students.
Well, during my senior year at Vanderbilt, when I was the president of the Black Student Alliance, we created the Tennessee Association of Black Students to deal with issues affecting African American college students throughout the state. And so we had the first annual conference at Vanderbilt, and we brought in students from all of the colleges across the state. You know,
and that is so important because a lot of times African American students might have the grades, they might have the family support, but there are some other issues that come with going to non-traditional schools.
Absolutely.
And so you all had identified some of those things, but you all had a support group and a safety net.
We did. You know, I went to college in the 80s, and at that time, the students at Vanderbilt, we all had kind of a cohesiveness. It's just like, you know, college students have issues, but we as African American students had both those issues and issues that were particular to us.
Exactly.
And so we ended up issuing a manifesto to the administration with 10 basic demands that we thought would help not only African American students, but the university as a whole.
That was a very bold move for students to do that.
It was, and like I said, just the the students, I think we had approximately 156 or so African-American students at the time, and about 90%.
And that's a very large institution.
Yes,
yes, it is.
About 90% of the undergraduate students signed the manifesto. We issued it to the administration, and we demanded written commitment on each of the things like more African-American professors,
really?
More African-American people in financial aid. We wanted, you know, we had in our catalog African-American studies, but we actually had to take that at Fisk University.
Okay, so which is a traditional African-American school,
yes,
HBCU.
Yes,
yes,
yes.
Okay.
So we wanted the classes right there. So we issued this manifesto. We wanted written commitment, and Vanderbilt actually gave us written commitment on each and every one. Not all at once. We staged
It was a process.
Yeah, we staged a silent protest, and we wore simply a white armband, and we put a big banner on the Black Cultural Center talking about how we protested the injustices and the inconsistencies. And
so how was your parents? So I have to just, because usually when our kids go off and do something that's out of the norm, they're holding their breath, because you're at a traditional white school.
Yes.
And there you are protesting.
Yes.
So they lost sleep.
Well, yes, more so my grandmother. She raised me, and you know, she was supportive, but then she was like, just be careful.
Yes.
Because everything that I was asking for would be something that would assist students that came after me. I was a senior.
You were paving the way, blazing that trail.
Yes, ma'am. I guess
everything that I heard about you, it's true. So even early,
I didn't think about it like that.
Even early, you were already out there in the fight, trying to fight for those that did not have a voice, or their voice wasn't strong enough.
I would say yes, but it wasn't just myself. Like I said, we had a very good executive board on the Black Student Alliance. It was all of us, and then just all of the students together. The climate was right, the timing was right, and it worked out well for both us and the university. They made some changes that were permanent, and I think it's a better university because of that.
Right.
Now, years after I left, they started calling it the Black Manifesto. I don't like that, because I felt like it helped the university as a whole.
Right. It wasn't just exclusive to African-American students. It made the entire institution better.
Absolutely. When you have more diversity, that helps everyone.
Absolutely.
I mean, as a freshman, I actually met Caucasian students who had never met a Black person in person.
Yes. Oh, yes. And that's an experience in itself.
Yes.
Well, what we're going to do is take our first break, go to our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by Chalk by Quincy introduces Excellence Redefined, timepieces of the finest technology, luxury, and class with tons of style at chalklifestyle.com. Renal Associates, LLC, a team of physicians dedicated to excellent kidney care with 5 convenient locations to serve you. Stark Avenue, Columbus, Bradley Park, Columbus, Lafayette Parkway, LaGrange, East Burkhalter Avenue, Buena Vista, and Springs Street in Warm Springs. The Framing Factory and Art Gallery, specializing in quality art and framing for all your needs. Original etchings, limited editions, and prints. Call Carlton Dickey today at 706-324-3823 or visit the Art Gallery at 1325 17th Street in Columbus. The Hugo Foundation, enriching the community through Christian music support, community outreach, and the Georgia Through Photography Project. For more information, call B at 706-568-6431.
Come meet your new best friend at Paws Humane.
Adopting from your shelter makes sense. You get a great friend checked by our vet. They're fixed, all shots, microchipped, all ready to make you and your family's life better. 4900 Milton Road, Columbus. Paws Humane.
Come meet your new best friend at Paws Humane.
Welcome back to Straightforward. I'm continuing my conversation with the one and only attorney, Tanya Mitchell Graham, blazing trails all over the country. Just as an African-American woman, I'm so very proud and honored that you would take the time and come and share with our audience. I know you have this wonderful law firm in Atlanta. You're doing all of these great things, but I just think it's important for our young people to see more role models like yourself.
Right. I love the youth, and you know, teachers made the difference in my life, and teachers and other adults taking an interest in me when I was a young person is why I am, you know, where I am today. And
you volunteer a lot. I mean,
I do.
You have just your biographical sketch is just really phenomenal. I mean, it's over here working with mentoring youth and the 100 women and active at your church and all of that, and I was very impressed with that because a lot of times as people become more successful, they leave off that humble part where they've had that spiritual training up that helped them to get to where they are.
And that even started with my grandmother who raised me. She instilled that in me early, and it is important and imperative for me to give back to the youth. That's extremely important. If we can touch children at a young enough age, we can make a difference in their lives just as others made a difference in my life.
And you have to pay it forward.
Absolutely.
And the people that's not ready to do that, then they're takers. And that's not a good thing.
No.
It's not good for the community.
Right.
Tell me about this awesome law firm. Of course, you know, I've heard what the word on the street is, but I want to get it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So you're in entertainment law, you're family law, business, corporate. I mean, you are every woman.
You make me sound better than it is. It's hard work. I enjoy practicing in my own firm. This is the second firm that I've owned. This particular one I started in February of 1999.
Really?
Yes, and I started after I had a partnership, and my partner went on to become a municipal judge at the time. And I was doing primarily, I started off doing more family law and entertainment law, really. And then I worked with a gentleman as an attorney who did family law. That's how I got exposed to family law. I never took a family law class. I never took an entertainment law class. But when I was in law school, I saw that there was something called entertainment and sports law, and I became interested, educated myself. So now, fast forward, my firm will be 18 years old in February.
Almost 20.
Almost, yes. And we currently have a staff, including myself, of 8.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Well, we're going to be showing that great picture of that team, and I was just really so impressed when I went and did my research. And you're also a mother.
Yes.
In the middle of 2 beautiful daughters.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah. And so with starting the law firm, which is like having a baby, you were actually raising babies.
Yes. Yes. Well, my babies are now 21 and 22. So,
yeah. But they were little when you started. So you didn't let being your mother, the mother role, stop you from your dream?
Absolutely not. I became an attorney before I was a mother.
Right.
So I had the children while I was practicing, and I even helped raise my stepsons.
Really?
Yes, they came to live with us in '98, and they were with us and graduated from high school.
But then having the energy and the stamina to start your own law firm in the middle of raising kids, that requires a lot of energy. Because being a lawyer in itself, you got a lot of reading and research and all of that. So did you ever sleep?
Well, some people question whether I sleep or not. I will tell you there are some evenings, particularly when I have court or I have a multi-day trial, that I may have 1 hour, 2 hours of sleep. I have actually stayed up all night and not gone to sleep and gone to court.
Really?
Yes. I mean, that's just a level of commitment.
Right.
I don't think that it's for everybody, but I'm very passionate about family law. I've grown to love it, and it kind of naturally comes from my love of just children and youth. So we work very hard to make certain that children are placed in the right home. I think that's important, and it determines the outcome of that child.
Right.
And so, in essence, we are contributing to society. We want productive citizens, and it starts in the home.
It does. And so you want to make sure that they have the best opportunity to have the best future.
Absolutely.
And that might not always be with the mother.
Not necessarily. We do represent a lot of men, and I have gotten custody for a multitude of men. The first gentleman, I got custody of his children in 1993.
When that was not popular back then for men to get custody.
It was nearly impossible. I felt at the beginning of the practice, you almost had to prove that the mother was unfit.
Exactly.
Even though the legal standard is what's in the best interest of the children.
Right.
But as we fast forward and we have even some of the older judges, they're starting to see that it's not necessarily always mom.
Right.
And the code section just starts off by saying, hey, there's no right in either parent. You got to do what's in the best interest of the child. And there's a whole list of criteria that the court uses to decide that.
So, where did we know you're the pit bull in the skirt because they say you will fight it out to the finish.
Yes.
So, the gold digger killer.
Yes.
So, is this based on finances? How is all of that? I want your version of the story.
All right, well, both of those nicknames clients gave me, and I won't say the names of the clients, but I remember very specifically. What happens is when I was starting my practice, I did more entertainment law, but I worked with a senior attorney that taught me the family law. And so quite naturally, I began to represent professional athletes and entertainers in family law. So my clients were mostly men. And so, definitely one of my entertainment clients gave me the Gold Digger Killer, you know, moniker. And as he referred people, they would say the same thing. And the same thing with the Pitbull in a Skirt. So after I had been called that years kind of privately, I looked it up and saw that both names were available for legal services. So I trademarked them.
And so now you own them.
So
when you go to the table, you're just going to fight it out in the best interest of the children.
Yes.
But also in fairness.
Absolutely, and that may not always necessarily be a fight. I would say that 70% of my cases tend to settle at some point. If not in the beginning, maybe after we've gone through the discovery phase and exchanged documents, financial documents and other evidence, then we always have mediation, and most of the time we can get the case settled.
Well, it's probably because they know your reputation is to fight it out to the finish.
Well, you know,
they might want to take the easy route.
But there's some other lawyers that fight it out to the finish too. And sometimes we just look at really what's in the best interest of this family and these children.
It's case by case.
Yes, yes. But I mean, if we have to fight, we will go to the finish.
Oh, I know you will.
Absolutely.
I know you will. I know you will. And so with the firm and the entertainment law, and you have some young lawyers that work for you.
I do.
Are you really holding them, and I know that you are, but I just want you to tell it, holding them to that same standard?
Oh, I'm always telling them that, you know, just the quality of the services has to be the hallmark of our firm. I tell them what judges are looking for and what we need to be known for. Not only do we have to do a good job in this case, but we have to make an impression with the judge because we'll see the same judges all the time. And it's important that that judge knows that when we say something, it's been vetted. We've done our research. We've done not just our legal research, but we've gathered our evidence. And so the next time that judge sees you on a different case, if there's a doubt, you can get the benefit because you've already established
you
who
all
you
are credible
and your integrity. That's pretty important.
Yeah, very much so. Well, what we're going to do is take our final break, go to our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
All right, thank you.
We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by Warrior Outreach. Contact Command Sergeant Major Retired Sam Rhodes or Kathy Rhodes. Freedom Printing for all of your designer printing needs. Gunboat Plaza, Suite 18. Thai Cuisine, the area's only authentic Thai restaurant. Open for lunch and dinner, Monday through Saturday. Located in the Village Green Shopping Center on the 280 bypass in Phoenix City. Progressive Funeral Home. Family owned and operated since 1952. The George Ford legacy of high standards continues today in the compassionate and professional services provided. A touch of dignity for those who care. Progressive Funeral Home, 4235 St. Mary's Road. Trusted by generations. Best Care, transforming minds and bodies. Leading the way in the latest techniques of medical weight loss and wellness. Certified in family medicine and bariatrics, Dr. Blunt is ready to assist in the transformation of your mind and body. Call today, 706-221-6477, or visit bestcarecolumbus.com. East Alabama Endocrinology, educating and caring for those living with diabetes in Alabama and Georgia. 1400 Bradley Lake Boulevard, 3320 Skyway Drive, Suite 602, Opelika. Take charge of diabetes and live your best life. Vanessa Jackson's District 3 Successful Scholars Program, supporting students in achieving academic excellence, outstanding citizenship, positive social and cultural growth, believing in success for kids. And welcome back to Straightforward. I'm continuing my conversation with the one and only attorney, Tanya Mitchell Graham. I tell you, I'm just so excited just reading your biography, looking at all of the things that you did, preparing just to be where you are now.
Yes.
Our young people don't always understand that it's a journey.
Yes.
Even if you graduate from law school today and you pass the bar tomorrow, it's still a journey.
Absolutely.
You're not going to start right at the top. You have to work and earn your place.
Yes.
So what are those pearls of wisdom that you could just share? Because I already know you're an advocate for young people.
I am.
I mean, you volunteer your time. You know, you're serious about your faith. You're a Baptist. I'm a Methodist, but we still serve the same God.
Yes, we do.
We still serve the same God. And all those things in the community that you do. But what can you tell our young people? Because they get these degrees and they don't understand that it's a process.
Well, it absolutely is a process. And first of all, you need to have a plan and understand. What I find that's so troubling with young people is they want to kind of get out of school, whether it's graduate school or undergrad, and they think that they should make as much money as people who have been working for years and years and years.
Right.
And they don't understand that you've got to kind of pay a little bit of your dues.
You do.
You've got to get some experience.
Yes.
And you just don't start making the same amount of money. It takes some tenacity, some patience, and a plan. You know, and you have to
say that again. Tenacity, patience, and a plan.
Amen. You got to have that.
Yes.
Because if you don't plan for success, of course, you may fail. So it's important to understand even setbacks might be setting you up to do something better.
Okay, so now you're preaching. Hello.
Hello. I'm just saying.
I mean, you can't help it because you've been trained that way and you've lived it. Yes.
I've lived it.
Right. So sometimes when you're redirected, it's intended to help you to get on the right path.
You may not know at the time because sometimes when you're going through transition, you know, it's a process. It's kind of like coal becoming a diamond, intense heat.
Yes.
But you're going to get something brilliant and beautiful.
Right.
And so it's important to be able to weather that storm, not give up, not get depressed, and realize what your ultimate goal is. And if you need to adjust those steps, you do. Because sometimes you may plan it this way, but God may want you to go this way.
Exactly.
And so when he closes a door, that means maybe that's not the right path. You need to take this path.
Right. And whatever we learned in that experience, we need to learn, take that, and move it over here.
Experience is that ruthless teacher for sure.
Yes,
I have
it is.
definitely made many mistakes along the way, and I tried to learn from them, and you continue. You know, law is the practice of law, meaning you never perfect it.
Right.
And so things are constantly.
The practice of law, I like that.
Yes, it's a practice.
Right.
And so you continue to do your best, but things change, just like in every industry. Things change, and so if something doesn't go the way that you thought, you learn from that, you improve, and you do better for the next time. But you never give up.
Right.
That's what you don't do.
And I think sometimes they get confused and frustrated because I know with us, most of us, when we got finished with the undergrad, we worked, we got a little experience, and then we went to the next thing.
Yes.
But now we live in an age where I have met many of them where they're going from a bachelor's to a master's, working on a PhD, never had a real job.
Right.
Then when they come out and start looking for a job, they don't understand why the person that have the master's in that field, but 30 years experience is making more money than they are, and they have a PhD.
I worked throughout my education, undergrad, when I went to law school at Georgia State University. I was working a job. I was doing software design. I was computer science at Vanderbilt, so I was doing software design when I started.
So your undergrad was in computer science?
And Spanish.
Oh
I
my
was
goodness.
not planning to be
a lawyer.
Right. So
until you had that march.
Right.
And that
right.
kind of redirected
Well,
you.
it was a protest over
Right.
a period of several weeks.
Right.
So I worked the entire time, and what I learned from undergrad is that it's important to get a job kind of in your field.
Yes.
And so while I was in law school, even though I was working for an electronics company, I kept applying for jobs, kept applying, getting rejected because I had no experience. And finally, around March of my first year of law school, I was able to work for a firm because they had a new computer system and couldn't work it. And I was like, I have that at home. I can show you all how to work it, how to program, etc.
So you created your own opportunity,
well,
pretty much.
Well,
because it was like, I don't have this, but you have a new piece of technology, and I'm an expert at it, and I can help you with that.
But I had several no's before I got to that yes.
Right.
So I feel like every no will eventually lead you to a yes if you're persistent. And so I was. And so I worked for that firm.
And you have to go to all of the colleges and universities in Georgia and give this speech.
I do.
No, you really have to, because they don't understand. It's like, well, I went to college for this, and so I only want a job doing that. And then they have these visions of what they think the first job is. Well, your first job won't be where you are the CEO. No one's going to bring your coffee and bring it to you.
No.
You know, you're going to have to.
Well, you know, there are ups and downs, peaks and valleys, and you have to just roll with it. I know when I was in law school, I was in transition. I had like a little car accident and couldn't work for this firm, and I'd already gotten an internship at a larger firm. So I still had to maintain in that 2-month period. I went and worked at a soup and salad bar with my Vanderbilt degree.
Okay.
No
false pride there.
None.
No false pride.
None.
It's survival.
Well, I mean, I'm from Dorchester, Massachusetts.
Right. You got to make it happen.
Yes. So, you know, you just have to do what you need to do to get to where you want to be.
Okay.
And just not give up. Like I said, every no gets you to a yes eventually. But you got to know your stuff. You can't just look good and sound good.
Exactly.
You have to know what you're doing.
Exactly.
And prepare yourself. Just like, for instance, I do family law and entertainment law. I never took a class. I went and researched on my own when I was in law school, entertainment law over at Emory University, and taught myself and joined the ABA and joined their entertainment section and just learned on my own.
Right. And no one paid you to do it.
No one paid me.
Right. And see, but we have to remember that some things you do because it's going to make you better.
Right.
In your field.
Right.
Not because everything you do you'll get paid for.
Right. Right.
And so people will say to me, "You did that and you didn't get paid." It's like, no, because I'm going to get something more than a one-time check.
Absolutely. And then of course you got to teach yourself, and then you have to network and volunteer.
Exactly. And volunteer.
Absolutely. So if you want to work in a certain area and you can't find a job, volunteer in that job and make yourself indispensable.
I love that. Well, okay, tell us where you're located and how they can find you.
All right, well, I am located in metropolitan Atlanta. I'm right behind North Lake Mall in Atlanta, kind of in Tucker. And people can call the office at 770-492-9013, or they can email us at info@tmgesq, like Tanya Mitchell Graham, Esquire, tmgesq.com.
Okay. Well, I thank you so much for coming today. I'm very excited, and we will have to have you back again next year.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. This has been straightforward. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Until next time, be blessed.